Hi, welcome to my tutorial. Several people reached out to me and wanted me to explain to them how do I do the Diva mannequin wreaths, attaching the mannequin head to the wreath itself. I usually use a 14-inch wreath that I get from the Dollar Tree. So instead of reaching out to everyone individually, I decided to do a YouTube video explaining how do I do that. Some of the work I have prepped already so the video won't be as long. But first you will need the mannequin head. And first thing you need to do is cut the back part of the mannequin head off, which I have done that already and I have already painted it already, but I'll explain what I did. This is about how much I cut off the back of the mannequin head. Usually you just need just about that much. And this has 3 coatings of paint on it. And once you cut the back off, I use smooth finish foam coating. And with this tight look on the inside, you just take a little dab on your hand and you put it across on the mannequin when you do it. And you do that to smooth it out when you paint it. It's not going to get perfectly smooth, but it's a whole lot better than when you don't do it at first. Because the first one I did not do it. And I saw someone else who did it, so I tried it. So it worked well, so I went and got some. And I think I got this from Michael's craft store. So, like I say, first you want to coat it with that after you cut the back off. Then you want to paint and apply 3 coats of paint on it. I usually let it dry for about an hour each time, and the last time I let it dry overnight. For this particular mannequin head, I use nutmeg brown color. And I also use, the other 2 tones I use is classic caramel, which I will be using this color for the face later. And I use warm buff. Those are the 3 tones I use. They get lighter and lighter. And so while that is painting, then I start prepping the wreath itself, which and I have done that already, but I'll explain what I did so the process won't go so fast. So this would be the 3 colors I will be using. So to get to that part, this is the 14-inch wreath that I use. And you want to get the plastic canvas. Again, I got these from Michael's, but this is not as large as I need it to be. But this is a 10.5 by 13.5. So what I normally do is put it on the wreath ring, and I get a pencil and I trace or marker and trace on the inside wreath, and I cut it out. So when you cut it out, then I take zip ties and attach it to the back of the wreath. This is important for whenever you get ready to attach your deco mesh so you can fill it in, and also to be able to attach the mannequin head onto the back of the wreath, because there's just an opening, so you want something there to fill in for that opening. And so once you do that, then you want to begin adding your deco mesh onto the wreath. So I cut them 10 by 10. And normally I use 3 colors. You don't have to use 3 colors, but I just choose to use 3 colors whenever I do them. And everyone knows the rolling technique. I roll up to 3. Y'all have to excuse me. This is my first tutorial, so I may not talk as much as other people, but as I begin to do them, I get better. But you know, people always say I talk too much, so I'm not trying to talk too much on this video to make it last very long. But I will interact with you and make sure you know what you're doing. So once you get the 3 roll up, you take a zip tie, and I already, well, not a zip tie, but a Chanel stem. And I usually just take a whole one and cut them in half. And I usually use the colors that's going to be in my wreath. So I use those 3 colors for the zip tie, but that's just a preference that I do. You don't have to do that. I guess that's the art major in me. So you're going to need about 30 of these at least. Sometimes it may take more, sometimes it may take less. And with the 30, let me take this off. It's usually 6 sections in the wreath. So you're going to not have to worry about one because that's where you're going to put your mannequin head. But with the other 5, in each one of them, you want to put 6 in each one of them. So I usually add 6 to this row and connect it to the canvas that I use. And then put 3 on this row. So it's 3 on this row and 3 on the bottom row. And that'll be 6 to each one of them. So that's how it becomes 36 times 5. And then sometime if I have some left over, I'll fill it in at the end to make it full because I like for my wreath to be full. So with that being said, I have done all but one section. So I left one section to see so I can show you what I'm talking about. So I hope y'all can see me because my little space is kind of tight. So I'm going to leave this one free for the wreath. And I'm going to add them to this one. And so therefore we have to, before I do that, we have to roll 5 more. Because I decided to save some to roll. So y'all won't say I did everything before the video. I didn't leave anything for y'all to see what I'm doing for those who don't know the technique. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people do know the roll technique. This was one of the first techniques that I learned when I started. Because it was, at first it seemed like it was simple. But sometimes that decimist just don't want to do right. But as you do it more and more and more, it will become easy. And you take the zip tie. And then you want to fold it and pull it and give it a couple of twists. So we have to do 4 more of those. And I thank y'all for tuning in and leave me some comments what you think about the video, if it was very helpful. And share what you learned from my tutorial so I'll know what to do when I do more. Because this is new to me. This is not my cup of tea. But my sisters in the group, when we do the Diva wreaths, they wanted me to share. So I got out of my comfort zone, out of my lane, and said that I was going to do it so I can bless someone else so they can start making theirs as well. So it's not always about you. It's it to be a help to someone else. So those who ask, I hope this is helpful to you. And I would like everyone to like my video, subscribe to my channel, and comment. So I think we have 2 more to do after this one. And I'm trying to move it on along. So I can show y'all what to do so y'all can begin making y'all own. So then y'all can post y'all on. And then y'all can do videos and show others too what I have shown y'all. And I think I'm going to be short when brown, but that's okay. I just double up with the turquoise. But I thought I had cut enough, but evidently I didn't. Yep, we need one more. So we'll just double up with the turquoise. That's one good thing about this method. If you run out of one color and you have to use another one, nobody never know, because you can shift and move around and fluff out your wreath any way you want, and they'll never know. So don't panic if that same thing happened to you. Okay, now that we have that done, we can now add them to the wreath. And remember I said I didn't put it in the top one, but I go to the second one and put 3 across here and then put 3 on the bottom. And then after I do that, I normally go through and cut some of the frilling off, because it do a lot of that frilling because you have to maneuver it around and work with it. So I just hang it up on the door and just cut the frills that's hanging off. See, once you get everything prepped, it don't take long to do them at all. It's just the prepping that takes time. And my method ain't the best method. It's just the way I just learned to do it, or I saw the people do it and I gave it a try. So if you find a way that's easier in some of the steps, by all means, come back and comment on the video and share with me, because I always be looking for the easy way to do stuff. It's all about helping one another. We learn from one another. And then sometime after you add the mannequin heads and add the scarf, sometime you may have to go add some more in and fill in. And I just twist them in the back, and sometimes I connect, well, not sometimes, but this time around I did connect the top one to the bottom one on the back for extra security, because you don't want it to come loose. And fall apart. And if I went too fast in some of the parts, or you miss it, since I had told you some of the things I did, since I couldn't show every step by step because it's time consuming, it takes a long time, just comment on the video and your question, and I will get back with you as to what I did and clarify those missing mistakes. Now, time for the, I won't say the hard part, but it's a little challenge. You got to be smart. When I attach, well, you know what? No, we might move too fast. We didn't even paint the mannequin head. I'm ready to get to the good part for y'all. So, once I paint it, it already has the eyebrow print outline. It already has the eye outline, and it already has the mouth. So usually what I'll do, where the print at, I'll go put a line across for the eyebrow. And then I'll draw in the eye line. So all the ones that I have done so far, I have all done them with the eyes closed. I said eventually I will move to with the eyes being open, but I just ain't got to that part yet. So I guess we can go ahead and do the outline of the mouth. Sometimes I do the lips and sometimes I don't. When I first started, I did it, but I kind of like got used to it. But for the purpose of the tutorial, I'll do it. You might be can't see it, but I'll trace where I'm going to paint at on the eyes. Sometimes I do one color and sometimes I do two. It all depends on. One time I did three. It all depends on if I have that color in here. And you also, if you want to, can add a little bit of glitter to the lip. Sometimes when you add the color onto it, because the paint on here, sometimes for some reason, it's like that one little spot just won't cover with the paint. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So that's when I tried with the glitter. And so I always apply, if I'm going to do the glitter with the same color, I apply the glitter while the paint is still wet. And then I'll take the brush and rub it in so it blend in with the lipstick. But I only did that maybe once or twice. So this would be the scarf that I will be using. And so I picked some colors from what I'll be using. So the color that I have that's closest to it was the turquoise and the beige. So this is what I will be using to do her face. And of course you need your toothbrush, your paint brushes. Not your toothbrush, but your paintbrush. Y'all can tell I'm nervous. Like I said in my first video, but we're going to get through this. So we're going to use coffee latte instead of Cassid caramel. We're going to use the coffee latte. It's a little darker. Which in it might not even show up. So we just going to use the turquoise because it might not show up because I used the darker brown. So we're just going to use one color for the eyes. What is your preference to use? How many you want? So I used a little small paintbrush, the ones that made for detailing. Oh, I need some black for the eyebrows. And when you painting it at first, you're going to look like, but it don't look good at all. But when you add those eyelashes on it, it's going to make it pop. Nothing special about the eyelashes. My son works at Walmart and I was out some one night and I wanted to finish. So I told him to go and get me some eyelashes. So this is the kind he brought me. So the regular little eyelashes. So I have always kept using those. So any kind is fine. Nothing particular unless in, those who are experienced experts at eyelashes. I don't wear them like that. So to me, eyelashes ain't up eyelashes. So there's no certain way to hold us. I normally sit down when I do it, but because I'm doing the video, I'm going to try doing it standing up. So I hope it'll work with me doing it standing up. And all y'all fancy, y'all might be put the little arches in the eyebrows. I'm just a regular old country girl. However they are, that's how they are. So, and my little mannequins, they're going to get the regular basic simple too. But y'all might want to go and put those arches in them and do all that fancy stuff. And I guess I'll get to that point one day. I'm just trying to master the basics because I haven't been doing this for long. This is about my, sixth one that I did. One of them I just did and just had it as a centerpiece like this, not on the mannequin head. But I think this is maybe my fifth one on the wreath. So I just started doing about a month ago. So I'm not an expert at it, but I'm just sharing what I know. So that's the eyelashes so far. I meant not eyelashes, the eyebrows. Y'all bear with me. We gonna get through this. Now I'm gonna do the eyes. I might have to sit down so y'all can see me because I want y'all to see me as I do it. I messed my little light and my angle. I guess I have to hold it. And then I'm a lefty too, so my hand's gonna be, it's like it's in the camera. But all I did was just trace the eye around the dents in the mannequin head. And I just paint inside there. And sometimes you have to go back and do a second coating. So hopefully we can get on through this here and I don't mess it up while it's trying to dry because I didn't take in consideration that it needs to dry before I did the other steps. So maybe I should have just went and had it completed and finished and just talk y'all through that part too. But we'll see what happens. Worst case scenario, I just won't be able to put the scarf on it if the eyebrows are not dry. But the main part that you all wanted to know was how do I attach the head. So we'll make sure we get that head attached, wet or dry. Okay, so that's how the eyes look when I did the two eyes. So now we're going to do the lips. I hate I can't position it for y'all to see me when I'm painting the lips. But I'll make sure when I attach it, y'all see what I'm doing. And because the lips looks like that, what I normally do is take a little bit of black and put a little fine line in between her lips since there's no opening. And then sometimes if it's too big, I just go back with the color that I'm using and blend the black in to make it kind of dull. so it won't stand out as much. So that's how the little line is in. If it's too dark for you, all you gotta do is get the blue and go back in it and dull it up some. But I'll take care of that later. I don't want to spend too much time to make the video so long showing that part of it. Let me get my lighting back right. Okay. Now that we have her all made up, and another thing you can do if you choose to put a necklace around her neck. And at this point, this is where you will put the necklace, or if you choose to put earrings on it, on the side you can. But because the decker mesh is so full, I normally just put a necklace around it, or I put a headband around her head if I don't use a scarf. I used to put the necklace and make a headband with the necklace when I have the glass necklace. But because I didn't pick out a necklace for the time being, we won't use one unless in this one here that I do have. We'll see if this one here matches. And we can give her a necklace. Nah, this one here won't match. But if you was going to do a necklace, all you have to do is just put the necklace around the neck and just glue it in the back because it's not going to show. And then I will glue the front so it'll stay in place. And then she will have a necklace. But we're not going to do the necklace today. But that's by choice because I didn't pick out one. I meant to do it last night when I was prepping, but I forgot it was getting late. So now that we have that, now we're going to try to connect her. You know, we'll do the eyelashes first too. No, it's still wet, so we'll wait before we do the eyelashes. So now when attaching, it can be kind of tricky. So I tried something last night, but I'm not going to do it on this one because I don't want to mess it, but y'all can try it. What I did was took a Phillips screwdriver and punch a hole through it and do the Chanel stem. So in case you were inquiring why did I use a Chanel stem, it's not long enough to go around. But it still can work because you can attach them from each side, but I like to connect it on both sides. So what I normally do is, what I have done, but I don't like using these, but these are all I have for the time being until I find another method. These are floor wires, and this is the length that they come in. I don't cut them in the thing. That's how they come in the pack. They're floor wires. So what I normally do, and sometimes it's a little struggle, I stick it through one side and come out through the other side. Sometimes you got to play with it a little bit because it'll bend on you before it gets through the other side. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the Phillips screwdriver and make my hole all the way through and see if that'll help. And maybe it'll push through the rest of the way because the Phillips screwdriver is not long enough. So we will try it again. Oh, come on. So I guess now I'm going to have to judge it and go through the other side. I don't normally do this, but for the sake of time, I'm going to try it. Because sometimes it goes straight on through with no problem. And the thing is that oh, then it didn't go anywhere I had to go in there. But it's all good because it's not going to show. And then I just get it evenly across. And you do another one down to the bottom, close to the neck parts. You do the same thing. That's why I say if y'all find an easier way, y'all let me know. Let's try the Phillips screwdriver again. Still gonna go all the way through. And I figure this one will work better than the Chanel stem. I really gotta find another system because I don't like how it be doing my Diva Wreath. Although people won't see it, but I know it's like that. And then what I do, I take my glue gun because it put little holes on the side, and I fill it with some glue gun. Oh shoot. Y'all, I didn't plug it back up. And we were going so smooth. So I may have to just keep on going without doing it and hope for the best. But I know I'm going to take the glue gun. Maybe I use some E6000 until I can put the glue gun so we can keep on going. So now what did I do with my E6000? Well, we'll just open up a new one. But I had one I was working on earlier. And I must clean up to move it to get ready to do the live. But it's all right. So we're going to put some E6000 up in there. To fill the holes up. All right. We'll see if that works for me until I can put the glue gun to it. No, it's not hot yet. So we're just going to carry on. So now, the moment y'all have been waiting for, the attachment. So I'm trying to see how I'm going to do this so y'all can see. So we just want to stick it in that opening that we left open. And then we're going